Your team's success is coming in large part because everybody plays defense now. When you arrived here, that was surely not the case in Edmonton. Can you maybe just tell us about the process of getting the team from where it once was, guys like Nugent and Eberle playing defensive roles now, to where it is today?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious it was something that needed to happen. When you threw the numbers at the group 2 years ago when we started, Edmonton likely had, or I know they had a reputation of, play real fast, get on offense and see what happens. And that doesn't win at this time of the year. I think we're proving that right now. So we came up with a bit of a formula for success and slowly implemented it, slowly pounded away, chipped at it. And a lot of that had to do with committing to playing without the puck, understanding what your responsibilities were, understanding that it had to happen on an ongoing basis. You couldn't pick and choose when you wanted to do it. We had to hold them accountable. We needed to make changes to our group and its makeup, and we're still doing it. We're not there yet. We've got a lot of work to do, but they're experiencing playoff hockey right now, and it's tight checking. There's every shift is of utmost importance. You can't overextend. You manage situations much more intently than you do during the regular season. And, to this point, we've done an adequate job, but it's going to get tougher as it goes on, and that's what we're learning.
Todd, any goalie who posts back-to-back shutouts is obviously valuable, but the way that Cam does it, the way he's so calm, cool, is that an influence on your bench that's obviously paying off as well?
It is. It's, some goaltenders make, I think of Dominic Hasek, who we had in Detroit. Some goaltenders make that dramatic save and that athletic save, and obviously Dom was a Hall of Fame goaltender. But with that comes some, hectic play around the crease where Cam is just calm and relaxed, and they both make the save. They're both tremendous, but one gives you a little more sense of calmness than the athletic save of a Dom, for example.
Todd, there was a lot of outside noise when the Oilers acquired Adam Larsson, and I'm just curious at this point, is he meeting expectations, exceeding expectations as far as what he's brought to the Oilers?
Well, he's the outside noise occurred, one, because Taylor Hall's a tremendous hockey player. Two, not many people knew a lot about Lars. He played in a big market, that New York area, but they probably get the least amount of coverage for whatever reason. And he wasn't a well-known quantity out west. We had done our homework. We believed he could come in and help us, and I would say he certainly met expectations. Not only has he made our team better, but he's made people around him better. I think Oscar Klefbom is a prime example of it.
Todd, their best players this morning, their top point guys, are talking about how tight checking it is when it's 5-on-5 out there. Some of your guys are saying the same thing, Connor and Eberle. Is it just going to be, potentially one of those series where when both teams are playing as well as they can, that it's going to just naturally be that way, and maybe the expectation changes production-wise on these guys?
I think it sets up for that, the way the games have played out, but playoffs is unpredictable sometimes. There might be a team that breaks out of it or gets away on the other team. I don't know that, but we're expecting it to continue to be tight checking, not a lot of space, capitalizing on what few mistakes occur from both sides.
How do good players stick with it in your experience? Maybe the offensive guys that the numbers aren't quite coming. What does sticking with it look like to you?
They chip away. They don't get out of character. They accept the opposite side of the puck, and they understand they can be really important on that side of the puck if it's not going in the net for them on a regular basis. But there hasn't been many goals scored in this series, and therefore you're not going to see Connor leading the league in scoring. I'm sure he's a primary focus. Pavelski, Burns, Not so much Jumbo because he's just coming back into the series, but those guys are a focal point for offensive production. When there's not that many goals scored and it's tight checking, their numbers aren't going to be what they normally are, and everybody's going to go, oh, they're not producing. That's not the case. It's two teams playing tight defensively, and I look at Connor, he's been in on 40% of our scoring. That's more than he was during the regular season, so.
Todd, not to ask you to reveal the cards for tomorrow, and I apologize if you briefly hit on this last night, just moving Leon to the middle. Obviously, Joe played a factor in that. You maybe wanted a heavier presence, but just the ability of a 21-year-old guy that's top 10 in the league in scoring to take that, and how you thought he handled, the changing role. I
thought he was fine. We put him back to his customary position, which is nice to have, and it's a luxury that for 7 years we had here in San Jose when I was with this team. You could move guys around, but you could always throw somebody back into that center ice position, and we needed it last night. It was not, as I mentioned after the game, it was not a demotion, as some would read. You're going off that top line. It's been a tremendous line for us for a few months now. It was something the team needed, and when you as an individual answer that call, you're willing to give up your personal accolades for what the team needs. It means you're growing, and the team is growing. The organization has a chance to move forward, and Leon accepted that role. I mentioned it to him on the bench that it was not a demotion. In fact, in my opinion, it was a promotion. Came with higher responsibility, and he did a tremendous job in that situation.
Todd, sorry, just center back. In regards to Cam, with his wife having twins early in the season, I think there was a feeling like there's a lot going on in his life. How will he concentrate on his job? But he seems to have handled and balanced everything. Would you agree with his way of taking care of things at home? And
I think that's a pretty accurate observation. Anybody who's been around twins, never mind just one, but two, obviously two little ones running around, and they're getting into that, that stage now where it's a track meet around the house. Everybody's into everything, so he does a tremendous job. And what that tells me is that he's got a real good bride at home. Obviously, she takes care of the kids, and Cam's a very good father. He balances it out. He's got great support staff here with Dustin Schwartz at the rink and his teammates, so they've done a good job.
Todd, anything surprise you about the series so far? Is this the way you thought it would go?
Actually, it has gone the way, I didn't know wins, losses, that type of stuff, but, the way the teams have played hasn't been a surprise. Systematically, there hasn't been many, surprises. Individually, it's a tough series for everybody. So as I mentioned, you're not going to see, when this series is over, regardless of who wins, I don't think you're going to see three names at the top of the scoring lead in the NHL, but it doesn't matter. That's the part that's tremendous for our group. It doesn't matter. It's just trying to get that win.
Todd, there are those in San Jose who felt like you might have had an edge in this series because you know the DNA of that team and perhaps then knew how to beat them. Do you buy that in the slightest?
Nope. I don't buy it one bit. Their team has evolved. They've got different people, and they're very well coached. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals doing it, Peter's way, and they have a belief system that's really strong in what they're doing over there. So, no, I don't buy it one bit. And as I said before the series, the core of that team, or the 15 guys or 10 guys or whatever it is that's left over there, they know our tendencies as well as we know theirs. They even know our language. So if you're belting out a different power play breakout, they know exactly what we're talking about. So there's no surprises.
Thanks, Todd.